Say what you just said again.
No, I can't say that
Say
again.
it again.
He needs to
You stayed
I stayed
over there.
Yep.
Here at this place, the Blackthorn place, but another place.
Correct.
Another room.
Correct.
Okay. And you had...
a television from 1980.
From 1980
channel.
Specifically.
Yes,
and
one channel.
And
the
how would you describe that channel?
It was the Stolen Child channel.
What is that channel?
It's all about children being dead and then stolen, or stolen and then dead, and then people find
That is a ghost channel. That is a haunted channel, and you were being haunted by stolen children from the past in this creepy place called Blackthorn.
I think it was a real channel, though.
That's creepier.
What's even worse is that it was the same.
Here we go. Top 10 for both of us. 3, 2, 1. Yes! Every
Nailed
single
it.
time we are perfect.
Bonus episode. Yippee.
Yeah, dude. Here we go. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Unpop Podcast. It's an unpopular podcast. You could make it more popular if you shared it, like, and subscribe.
I like that.
I'm
I like
Kevin
that
Miner.
plug.
Thank
I
you.
like that plug.
I'm Kevin Miner doing a bonus episode for all you unpoppers out there. That's the name that we now have for all the people who listen to this
I don't know
podcast.
if I like that or not.
Unpoppers. We're just leaning
Unpoppers.
heavy into every podcast trope now.
I love it.
Ooh, I spit on my mic.
Don't do
Ugh,
that.
gross.
I somehow got water on my glasses.
Yeah, everything's going to hell because we're doing a 0.5. All right, welcome to episode 6.5. 6.5.
You know what I like about this?
My name is Kev. What?
Oh, sorry. Wait. Yeah, you should probably tell people who we are.
Tell me what you like about it.
Well,
first,
it's
'cause I
6.5.
stopped.
And I like to think that the Mandalorian show in Star Wars is like the 0.5 of episode 6. There's our Star Wars episode 2. It's done.
There's a
Now,
Star
who
Wars
are we?
episode, baby. We did it.
Every episode.
All right. Welcome to episode 6.5. My name is Kevin Miner. He, him. With me, as always, is...
I'm Odie Matthews. They, them.
That's right. And we are here bringing you an extra spookalicious episode of the podcast.
Spookalicious. We
Yep.
should have done this in October. It's not
Spooky
even
season came
May.
early this year, baby.
Super early.
I mean,
5
dude, it
months
is about to
early.
be Christmas in July. So, I mean, we might as well just like... We might as
first-
well just throw it down now, right?
First is my birthday month.
If you're gonna do... Wait, what's your birthday month?
June.
July.
No.
Oh, June? Wait, June what?
The 11th.
Oh, happy early birthday, Odie.
Yeah, very early.
Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, like we might as well do a spooky season now so that Christmas in July hits and then it feels proper, right? Like we're just we're following the seasons. I'm one of those people. I don't know if you're one of those people. Let me know, Odie, and I feel like you are one of those people. Do you lean into spooky season in September?
Yeah. I mean, our anniversary, our wedding anniversary is Halloween. We're big spooky
Oh.
people in this house.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So I lean into spooky season in September, and I think like it was really funny. We were doing the episode earlier this week where we were talking about just slasher movies and horror movies and stuff, and I was thinking to myself, wow, I've seen more than I thought from recent years.
Yeah.
And then I remembered it's because September through October, I'm basically just like, if it ain't spooky, I'm not watching it. I don't know why. Like I just get into that mode.
It's a good thing to get into. And that's why we are here to talk about our top 10 spooky movies.
That's right, because we realize that lists are flawed.
Yeah,
but our
very.
lists
Are
could
great.
be our favorite version of flawed. So why not do our own?
Our
right?
list could be our favorites.
If all lists are going to be flawed, we might as well have our own flawed list and join the club.
Yeah, add to the pile.
I want
Let's go piece by piece. You gotta go 10,
to
you go
go-
10. I'll go first.
Okay. Yeah, I want you to go first.
My first.
First off, we both have a couple honorable mentions. The other thing, okay, Odie, I also want to structure this. Let's do it spoiler free.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Right?
definitely.
Okay, because these are our favorites, and I feel like when you share your favorites, you really don't want to spoil anything for people who might go out and watch them and then be like, "Oh, that was good," or "Wow, I can't believe you have such trash taste." So honorable mentions first. Odie, take it away.
Okay, so my 2 honorable mentions are Get Out, because Jordan Peele, and why are you looking at me like that?
Keep going.
And then I just because of pure nostalgia factor, I put the first Friday the 13th.
Wow. That is amazing. Here's why I made that face. Why? My honorable mentions are Us by Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I honestly debated between Get Out and Us, and then I really, really thought about it, and I like Us the most of all of his movies so far.
Okay.
Yeah, it's properly
It's
creepy.
good. It's good.
I love the ending. It felt like a really awesome Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay. And I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan. That was
Yes.
one of my favorite shows growing up.
I love Twilight Zone.
Okay, so Us, and then my other honorable mention is Let Me In, and we already talked about this when I was driving home.
Remake.
It's not the remake.
I know.
It's the original. It's a really good film, and to even describe it would spoil it. Like we said in the last episode, sometimes it's best to go in blind. I highly recommend people go into that film blind.
I highly recommend you watch the remake because it's good.
It is good. I like the original better.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to number 10. Odie, what's your 10?
Train to Busan.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. It's okay. So I figured I needed to put a zombie film on my list because I love the zombie trope. I love zombie horror movies. I think they're very fascinating. I love I Am Legend, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, the remakes. But I started thinking about all the zombie movies I've seen, and if I'm being honest, I think the one that is properly like a good scare, but also like just a good zombie movie is Train to Busan because it's very compact. And it's very claustrophobic, and I like that. So
yes,
I think it's
I'm
great.
with you on that. I love Train to Busan. There also wasn't there a sequel called Soul Station, or it's like a spin-off of Train to Busan?
There's a sequel. Okay. There is a sequel.
Yeah. So I watched Train to Busan for the first time actually with Chloe. We have a theme going now.
Nice.
Yep. I sat down and I was like, Chloe, you want to watch this movie? It's a zombie movie. All my friends like it. Let's watch it. And Chloe loves a good horror film. So we had a really good time watching that. I was honestly surprised by how much I liked it because it's so claustrophobic and it's a bottle, everything's bottlenecked, but they did a really good job developing the characters. They give everybody meaning. Yep. Everybody's death has a meaning. And then even in the end, there's a lot going on there. It's really, really good.
It's a good one.
Yeah. My number 10, and I have a couple movies on my list that are the second installment of a franchise.
Okay.
So my number 10 is Saw 2.
Ooh.
Specifically Saw 2 because I was like, okay,
Diesel.
I loved Saw. Saw was such a good scare, and it was the first movie that really, really got me. At the end, I was like, oh my god, this was the best thriller ever. But then watching Saw 2 and watching a proper story develop, and then getting to that twist ending was so rewarding. When Saw 2
Donnie
ends,
Wahlberg, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Donnie Wahlberg, but then it's also the little side plot in the house, right, with all the people. And then the ending of that was if you have to watch 1 and then watch 2, you can't just watch 2. If you watch 1 and then you watch 2, at the end of it, you're like, oh my fucking god, that was brilliant. What a good move. So that really got me. And then my number 9 is a Korean horror film. So let's move on.
Oh, okay. Well, my number 9 is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Ooh.
Yes.
That quickly.
Yes, because
it jumped up.
Here's why I like it a lot and why I put it in my top 10. I think it does 2 things really well. I think it does
Okay.
a great job of casting people and creating characters that fit the people they cast really
Yep.
well. They're all
Yep.
very believable, terrible people, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it does a really good job of showing how jumping to conclusions can lead to a spiral of events. And I think that
Yeah.
that concept is very cool and very
The
well done.
availability bias
And
is the
nobody
real
is
enemy.
safe. And
Yep.
no spoilers, but the first person to go, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. So bodies. I like it.
I'm into that. My number 9, and I thought about Train to Busan, and I was like, I have to put a Korean horror film on here because I love Korean horror films.
Yes.
And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, do I put Audition on here? And then I was like, nah, Audition kind of falls into that category that we were talking about of like torture porn. Have you seen Audition?
I have not.
It's like a guy wants to get a new wife, so he's kind of auditioning this girl, but she's a psychopath. That I haven't really given away any twists or anything. That's literally the plot of the movie. No spoilers on that, but that's what it is. But mine is The Wailing. Have you seen that?
I don't think so. Why does that sound familiar, though?
Here is what The Wailing does that another horror movie on my list, a little higher up, does that might even give away the other movie. The Wailing is 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is not your normal horror movie length.
Yeah.
It is very long, and it is very worth it. And there are a lot of scenes that aren't directly horror related, but are helping to build tension later. And they're very long, but they're worth it. And you're just invested. It's so fucking good. Honestly, I highly recommend anybody watch it. I think it'll make people's top 20 list.
I'm
if
looking
not
it up right
top 10.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right.
I'm
Let's
joking.
move on to number 8. Spoiler free. Here we go.
Yeah. So my number 8, and this might just be because, again, it's a modern one, but Smile.
Okay.
Because
No, that's a good one.
And I think it's great because I like the message of mental health. And
Okay.
I like how absolutely terrified I was watching that movie in theaters.
Yeah.
And that
I
alone
think
was enough for me.
it's an identifiable terror that you might degrade mentally at any point, and yeah, they do a really good job in that movie of building up the tension of the main character as she starts to like lose sleep and stuff. So like, yeah, I'm with you on that. That's really good. I actually, lo and behold, I went to go see that in theaters with Chloe. And we loved it. And we were talking about it a lot afterward and how it was unique as a horror film. My number 8 is, I couldn't pick one, but I'll give you the reason why with a specific installment.
You have 2 for number 8?
No. My number 8 is just Creep Show.
Oh.
Have you seen Creep Show? It's an anthology. It's like, what was the other one? Tales from the Crypt, right?
Yeah.
It's like that, but Creep Show had, in Creep Show 2, there is a short story, like horror film. There's a short horror film about these kids on a dock, and they're trying to get away from some black tar looking like sentient ooze thing that just dissolves anything it touches. Like anything organic that it touches, it just dissolves them. And I remember watching that, like Creep Show 2, I was watching it and I was like, wow, this is really good. But that one like haunted me because I'm from upstate New York, man. We go swimming out to the dock all the time. So like watching that, I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Is it going to get them? And then like for a while, you don't know if it's sentient completely or not. It's so good. Yeah. So Creep Show, just because I think it's always like, even as a kid and like now I kind of watch it nostalgically, like it's not amazing or anything, but like,
What year is
there's
that
like,
from?
it's just good. It's from the 80s, like 82, 81, a long time ago. So yeah, Creep Show for me, man. I love Creep Show. Once again, I was debating a little bit. Like I was thinking like, okay, is it Tales from the Crypt? Is it one of the Tales from the Crypt movies? Is it Creepshow, and I kind of leaned into Creepshow.
Yeah, It looks interesting.
It's good. It's an anthology. Like, I really enjoy a good anthology. Like, I love Death and Robots.
Oh my god,
So
that
good.
show is so. I mean, my favorite episode of that is when it's the three robots and mankind. Like they're discovering all the
season
remnants.
one?
Yeah, they're discovering all the remnants
Yeah.
of mankind. Oh my god, and they're like
Yeah.
they were dumb.
Did you see in the new season when they did the zombie apocalypse episode?
Yes.
Yes, that was
So
so
good.
good. Night of the Mini Dead. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
My favorite moment in that is when it just shows the White House and you hear zombies, not in our country. Like, just it's so funny.
That's good.
Yeah. All right, number 7. What do you got for me?
I have X.
Ooh. Okay. Wow, you're a lot of recent horror films have been in your top 10.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, it's definitely biased. I'll be honest. Only one of these is an old one, and I haven't even gotten to it yet, and probably can guess
Wow.
off of that which one it's going to be. But, I mean, there is something to be said about the craftsmanship of older horror movies, and it's beautiful for the time, but I can't say that I've watched any movie like Friday the 13th or Halloween or any of those from back then and ever felt truly scared like the ones I've watched today. And I'm judging these off of the ones I like the most in terms of either as a movie or how much they made me spookified. So
Well, I think a lot of the people who are writing horror now are writing they were horror fans as kids when we were kids, right? So now we have the next generation, but they're writing horror that would scare them and us, you know? So, like, of course it's going to scare us and be fresh in our minds. I agree with that. My number 7 is my second installment, and it is Child's Play 2. That movie scared the ever-living piss out of me as a kid. I remember that was the first movie that, like, gave me nightmares for probably about a week. And it's not... Yes, and it wasn't any of, like, the regular, like, killings that happen in the movie. It's at that... toward the end of the movie where they really drive home the point of just how hard it would be to kill a doll, right? Like a possessed doll. And they really drive that point home. Like that ending sequence, this doesn't like spoil the movie or anything, but they eventually go to like the warehouse where all the buddies are made.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Right? And that's where like that movie ends, and there's so much suspense. And it's a kid and his sister running away from the doll, right? It's not grown-ups. Like, when I feel like a lot of times when we see grown-ups, they have so much agency that we're like, why didn't you just do the grown-up thing, you know? But, like, when it's a kid and his sister, it's like, holy fuck, dude. Like, they might die.
Yeah, I mean, I just also realized something. I never got to watch horror movies until I was an adult. So I never got the effect of, you know, Child's Play as a kid, which probably would have terrified me. But
my mom told me I could not watch Child's Play 2, which is specifically why I watched it. And then it scared the ever-living bejesus out of me for like 2 weeks.
Nice.
And my mom told me that if I continued to be scared, I could not watch horror movies anymore. So I immediately was like, how do I get over this?
Oh my god.
All right, number 6.
Number 6, Midsommar.
You are such a modern horror fan.
It's a good movie, man.
Is that your second A24 film?
Yes, I love it. Dude, I'm a big A24 fan.
They do good horror.
Free Fire is a great A24 movie. What's the other one that I like from them? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
The Green Knight.
Oh, yeah, Green Knight. That's a
obviously
fantastic one.
Can Dave Patel just be in more amazing movies, please?
He honestly, Ex Machina, Moonlight, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Room, Uncut Gems, The Lighthouse. Oh my god, that's a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, I love The Lighthouse.
Jesus, Bodies. Yeah, I do have a lot of
Midsommar.
Films. It's good.
I almost put Midsommar at number 10.
Okay.
The only reason Saw 2 beat it out is because I've watched Midsommar probably like 3 times now. And on the third watch, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. But like, I don't know, like it lost a little bit of oomph for me.
It definitely on the rewatch does.
Yeah, but I really, really like the first time I watched it. I was just entranced by, like it was such an identifiable form of like isolation horror because they're not properly isolated. They're just like in a foreign community, but they're the foreigners, and like and
it's a
just
good cast,
watching
too.
these people not know how to properly interact with like a community that is so strange to them, and then watching that community interact with them. And I honestly think like I had thought about this. I had thought about Midsummer a lot, and specifically I thought about like, okay, well, what if they had behaved differently? Like, let's say nobody like offended anybody like in the movie, or like it did anything wrong. Would it still end the same? And my answer in my head was kind of yeah.
Probably,
I feel like they were, no matter what, they were like isolated. They probably weren't getting out of there.
They wanted him for a reason. I just think it's really good. The suspense is good. I think it's beautifully shot. That's one of the other things too. Is like I think the cinematography in a lot of the movies that I picked there's real talent there. Talent recognizes talent.
Midsummer's amazing.
Even though my talent's definitely far below that.
The thing that I really like about it is there's so many. It was the first installment of like wanderlust horror. Like I don't know that I've ever seen another like we're going to another country to like do a cool thing and then just like that kind
there's
of
some,
horror.
but not a lot. What's your number 6?
And it's hard to execute. Number 6 for me, and I had to pick one because I wouldn't just pick the whole series again, but Hellraiser, the new one. Specifically the new one.
I have not seen the new one.
It is so effing good, and it does all the things that Hellraiser's supposed to do, but it does them slightly differently. And the ending of it is so good. And they get into kind of more of the lore of the puzzle box, and like they bring in stuff from the comics a little bit.
Interesting.
And all of the deaths are still interesting and meaningful and gory, but it's not like completely just torture porn. Like it does everything that Hellraiser is supposed to do. Like there's some blood and then some shit goes wrong, and then all of a sudden everyone's dealing with fucking Cenobites. I also love the term Cenobite.
I've only ever seen the original.
The original is a slow burn.
It was very boring.
It's a slow burn.
I might have to check this one out.
The original is based off of a short story, right? Or a book. It's like a novella. It's like in between a short story and a book. The original is based off like a novella that's equally boring. I read it.
Oh.
It's not that great. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. What's your number 5?
My number 5, so you can keep calling me a modern horror fan, is Hereditary.
Same director as Midsommar.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I believe
yeah.
so.
Hereditary's really good.
It's fantastic. That's why it's the start of my top 5, because I think the rest of these are just absolute bangers.
Okay. I like that. What made Hereditary make your top 5 instead of just the top 10? No spoilers, but
yeah, it's hard to. The ending, the like rise of tension during the specific event that really kicks things off.
Yep.
The great use of sound design to help instill that fear and that chill down your spine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. It's good at doing its job of making you uncomfortable and feel spookified. And again, I'm judging off of my spookified meter, and this one cracked it. So
okay, I like
properly
that.
Spookified.
Is the director from Hereditary doing Beau is Afraid this year? Is that the new film from that director? I think it is.
Let me see.
I just wanted to make sure I asked that because I feel like that director did Hereditary, Midsommar. There's another one in between then and now, and there's Beau is Afraid coming up.
Oh, it's Ari Aster. Yeah, I love this guy. Yeah, he did Beau is Afraid. He also did, Midsommar, Hereditary, Beau is Afraid.
What did he do after Midsommar? There's a project he worked on in between those two. It's okay if all right.
That's all he did.
I'm pretty sure he did something. Maybe it's nothing like of note. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5. starts what I would like to call the sci horror part of my preference in horror.
If you say Jason X, I swear.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Jason X. Send that motherfucker to space, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna get people. He's got a metal hockey mask this time. Everything's on a ship.
He is shredded.
I'm pretty sure the tagline on that was "In space, nobody can hear you scream."
Yeah.
Which
Oh
is
my
like-
god. Hang on. Let's look.
Like,
I'm pretty sure you're right. It's something
dumb
like that.
effing tagline. Yeah,
Oh,
it's so dumb.
Jason.
All right, my number 5 is The
looking.
Thing,
Which one?
the original.
The tagline was "Evil gets an upgrade."
That's
upsetting.
That's worse. That's
Yeah.
worse. That's
the original
worse.
with Kurt Russell.
Yes. Dude, Jason already went to hell in that series. Why is the tagline
Alien.
not just
The
space is
tagline
hell?
you're thinking of is for Alien. In space, no one can hear you scream. Is for that super famous movie, Aliens, the movie that's way more famous than Jason X. How did neither of
Yeah.
us catch that as soon as you said that?
I don't know.
Anyways,
Anyway,
original
I
Thing
love
is very
The
good.
Thing. The original Thing is great. The practical effects that went into making things before we had like all the CG and stuff,
yes.
like just so amazing. Like when you go back and you watch that film, it's like extra creepy. Like there's so much uncanny valley effect at play there, you know?
Oh yeah.
Really, really good. Love The Thing. All right.
I remember seeing the remake in theaters, and I remember being
Yeah.
like, not as good, but not bad.
It's not as good because like when you don't have all of like think about like all the stuff it took to make like this slimy flesh-like
Yeah, the puppeteering.
morphing alien. Yeah, just so it was so much more in depth and it felt more real because it was real stuff that they had to use to make it. Like they had to adapt, right?
Yeah.
Now it's just like, oh well, you know, green screen it, dial it in, right?
I mean, they did some practical.
Where's Martin Freeman? Let's dial it in. Come on.
Martin Freeman. Anyways, okay, my number 4. My number 4.
I love this character of
Martin Freeman.
Just we got to dial something in. Martin Freeman, could you get in here? I love him as an actor too. Like
Me
I
too.
have nothing
I
against
do
him.
love
I
him.
just love this bit that I've created now. Like
I love it.
all right, keep going. What number 4?
My number 4 is the new first
What?
It.
Ooh. Okay.
I-
Chapter 1.
Properly love that movie, not only because the first 2 watches it made me properly spookified, but now I watch that movie and it's just a good movie.
I'm really glad that your number 4 is a Stephen King, because my number 4 is a Stephen King.
Oh wait, I
And
have
it
a fact
was
about the director.
honestly-
I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
So the director of
Of it.
Andy Muschietti, I'm pretty sure I'm saying his
Uh-huh.
last name right. So he did It Part 1, It Part 2. He is currently the director of the movie that's coming out next month, The Flash. And do you know what his next project after the Flash movie is supposed to be? It's something
It
that you
Part
and I
3.
No, it's something you and I are both big fans of.
What?
Attack on Titan live action. He is a massive fan of the manga and wants to do a
Wait.
proper live action adaptation.
Hold on. A Western adaptation of Attack on Titan, or
So he is apparently working with the writer of the manga to make a live action adaptation.
Okay.
So,
okay.
probably speaking English, but cast
Ooh.
appropriately. So,
Oh,
yeah. But that sounds amazing.
I mean, okay, hold on though. Before we get all up in arms about this being a Western adaptation, what are the names of the main characters?
Levi. Aaron.
Yeager, Annie, Potato Girl. Like these are
Potato Girl. She's
these are very Western things. These are very Western.
Oh, Jesus.
These are very Western things.
What's your number
but
4,
I
Kevin?
swear to God, if they cast Connie wrong, I will be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite character. All
Love
right,
Connie.
apart from Levi. Did you know Levi's voiced by Matt Mercer?
Yeah, Matt
in the
Mercer is
dub?
also the voice of Ganon in the new Tears of the Kingdom game. I love Matthew Mercer.
Stop it.
Yep.
He's the best.
I love Matthew Mercer.
Yeah, me too.
Just the best.
Huge
Just the
man
best.
crush on that
Oh,
guy. All right, let's
absolutely.
keep going.
Anyways, your
Number
four.
3. Oh,
Your number
my number 4. Oh, yeah. My number 4 is a Stephen King. It's and I debated between two, and they're two relatively realistic in their portrayal horror films. One was Misery, which did not make my list, but it's kind of like up there with this movie, even though it didn't make the top 10. But The Shining.
Oh yeah.
I love The Shining.
Yeah.
What a classic horror tale.
Great
and
one.
like, even though the book is so much different, right? The Shining itself, and I mean, this is like the second cast in a row, like horrible director who does horrible things to actors, but
yeah,
great movie. But great movie. Absolutely great movie. And just watching the movie and wondering, like, is it just psychosis? Is there something else going on?
Yeah.
And just the ending, like everything tied together. And this is also the second movie on my list that's like 2.5 hours, right?
It's like closer to 3. It's like 2.5 hours though too, to be fair.
Really long for a horror film.
Did you like Dr. Sleep, the sequel?
No.
You didn't like it?
No.
Did you read the book?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I think book people don't like it. I haven't seen it.
I didn't like it that much anyway.
I haven't seen it. Okay, anyway,
I didn't
number
think
3.
we needed it. All right, keep going. Number 3, what do you got, Odie?
Number 3 is something that I talked about quite a bit during our listicle episode, and it is Scream.
Okay.
I love Scream. It's a great movie, and it's a great horror movie, and I just
no
think it's really well
explanation
done.
needed.
No, I mean
Classic
really.
slasher.
If you haven't seen Scream yet, and you're a fan of horror, for one, what are you doing? But two, if you haven't seen Scream and you've seen like Scary Movie or anything like that's self-referential, Scream is something you should watch.
I feel like Scream is a good introduction horror film for a lot of people too.
It was for me. That's what it was for me.
I feel like that's a good first horror film for a lot of people. Like if you have somebody who's like, I kind of want to get into horror, but I don't know about it, like show them Scream. That's a good one. My number 3 is, I also mentioned this on our listicle episode. Funny Games. Number 3 is Funny Games for me, man.
Yeah, you did mention that one. I haven't seen it yet.
That is definitely top 3 for me.
Ooh.
Love it, love it, love it. Can't say enough about it. It's proper horror. Everything about it's proper psychological thriller, but it's a horror.
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, 100%.
Have to check that one out.
I cannot recommend that enough, especially to people who are fans of cinema. Like,
I will have to check it out.
If you are a film fan and you like horror, watch Funny Games.
Funny Games.
What are you doing? Yeah. All right, number 2.
Sick. Number 2. Would you like to guess? It's an older movie. Way old.
Psycho.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, I love you. Yep. Psycho. I mean,
I knew it.
We talked about it on the episode. I know Alfred Hitchcock was a terrible person, but I am a big fan of a lot of his movies. I mean, I love North by Northwest is my favorite movie of all time. It's the movie that's playing on my theater. I think Rope is great. I think To Catch a Thief is great. I think Rear Window is great. I think Psycho is great. I think his movies...
Vertigo.
They're just great. And I think that Psycho is the grandfather of horror. And it is amazing. So
I agree. That's good. My number 2... I will not tell you the title right off the bat, but I will tell you that in space, no one can hear you scream.
Is it Alien? Is it Alien? No, wait, Jason X. Is it Jason X? It's Jason X. I wanted to do the joke answer with Jason X, but I couldn't do that to Alien. I can't do it to Alien.
Straight up, Alien was the first horror movie I ever watched, and the reason I'm saying horror, like a lot of people would be like, it's Alien, it's sci-fi, but like Alien, when it first came out, was in the horror section at the video rental store.
Yeah,
when I was a kid,
suspenseful.
right? Yeah, so like when I was a kid, I would go to the video rental store, and there wasn't a big sci-fi section. So like sci-fi horror always got lumped together. I don't know. Do you remember going to video stores, like renting videos at a store?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
Blockbuster.
Sci-fi horror was always lumped together.
Yeah. I remember seeing Jason X next to Alien and being like, in space, no one can hear you scream.
Exactly, for both. But Alien, I remember Alien was like the first time, and I watched Alien, I want to say at like 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so like that was like crazy to watch as a kid.
Yeah,
and that was actually
claustrophobic.
That was my first horror movie. And I remember just like sitting there, and I knew like deep down, I knew none of it was real because it's Alien, right? Like I was like, it's not like I was going to go home and have nightmares about a thing that's like infinitely off in space in another alternate universe where we are in space as a species, right? So like it was very, yeah, like I guess I was just logical enough as a kid that I like didn't go home and like was afraid of it. But the scene, and I don't even care. This isn't even a spoiler, but the scene where the face hugger, the little baby thing, bursts out of its chest, the like little chest burster thing, bursts out of that guy's chest. I like was like, what is this? It blew my mind. I was like, I didn't even know you could do this in movies. You know?
Did you know that the reaction from the cast was real because they pumped more blood than they were supposed to, and that's why it splurted all over them, and they were like, what the hell? Because they weren't expecting that.
Yeah. Wow.
Fun fact.
That's amazing. Up until that point, the scariest movie I had seen before that was like The Dark Crystal.
Oh, yeah. I would say that's a big jump.
Yeah. Dark Crystal's like creepy for a kid, but like, man, Alien was like next level shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's up there. Yeah.
Like it.
Next movie. We're
number
up
one.
to, dude, we're at number one.
Yeah. I think it's going to really, really shock you, and I think we're going to have a slight argument about it.
Is it Jason X?
Yeah.
Is it Jason
Oh, Jesus.
Evil gets an upgrade.
Nope.
How could it not be Jason X? Evil got an upgrade.
I just told you. Nope.
All right. What is it?
How many times do I have to tell you? Nope.
Oh, it's Nope. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you about that because Nope is really good. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Yeah.
It is.
No, it was good.
I don't think it's not. So, I love Jordan Peele through and through. 100% around.
Yeah.
Nope. I can't explain why I love this movie so much, but not only is it my favorite movie in terms of being spookified, which I will admit, the one thing that I really loved about watching this movie when it was released, and I saw it in IMAX, was how claustrophobic a movie about something in the sky made me feel.
Oh, yeah.
And I am super claustrophobic, like massively claustrophobic. So not only do I think it's my favorite spookified, spooky horror movie, but this is actually in my top 5 of all time movies. It's actually number 5 because, for one, the cinematography is next fucking level.
Yeah.
2, I think that the story is executed really well with a beautiful ending.
Yeah.
And 3, I just think it's just worth watching at least once. The cast is incredible. Like, that's the other thing, too, is the cast on this movie is, like, the 2 main leads as brother and sister, 100% believable. 100%.
Yeah. Also, kind of a sci-fi film.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda. It's great.
Like,
it's honestly great.
Extraterrestrial stuff going on in that.
I don't buy a lot of movies anymore. Definitely not digital ones. But the day that movie came out to buy, I bought the biggest package you could.
Oh, nice.
It's one of 5 movies that I own on digital.
It is a good movie. I like it. That's a good number 1. It scared you the most, too. My number 1, and you're going to have to let me know. I'm actually interested to know if you've seen my favorite horror movie of all time. And I think that this horror movie does not get enough credit for inspiring an entire genre of video game.
Doom?
My favorite horror movie is Event Horizon.
Oh, with the guy from Jurassic Park.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen Event Horizon.
That is my favorite
What is his
effing
name?
horror movie of all time. There are so many interesting concepts wrapped up into a tight little package, and like
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill. Yeah. One,
Sorry.
They're in space. 2, it's partly psychological. 3, I'm pretty sure that's like 3, there's possession. 4, part of that possession is like a huge theme in a lot of video games now, which is like essentially just like an unknown being, an entity that we've not encountered in space. And it's specifically because, like, just to give the plot, like, there is a ship called the Event Horizon, and it is the first ship to test out traveling through a wormhole. And everybody thought that it just disappeared for forever, and then all of a sudden it's back, and nobody knows where it's been. And yeah, it's back. Nobody knows where it is, and they got to go check it out. But the thing that movie does is it makes everything scary. Even getting into and out of the airlock properly is scary in that movie.
There's a lot of good moments in that.
There's so many good moments, and like they set up every single death properly, and then they execute them quickly. And that's not them like they execute people quickly. They execute like the death sequence. So like the tension builds, and then they don't waste any time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this could go wrong. Oh, it's going wrong right now. Okay. Like,
do you know what one of my favorite video games of all time is? And it's exactly
Dead
I think
Space.
it's yeah. Oh, 100%. The original, and I got the remastered and completed it. It is such a good game. I like this movie. This movie. I've only seen it once. It's been a long time.
Dude, Event Horizon is it has jump scares, it's got murder, it's got disembowelment, it's got guts, it's got like possible like demonic possession, kind of, maybe. You never really find out, but like it's like, what would happen if we just sent a ship through a wormhole? And then I think the writer answered like, oh, well, maybe it would go to like hell and back. Who knows?
Maybe it'd pick up a few demons on the way. Who knows?
Maybe it'd come back with some
Bus
demons.
Stop.
Like, yeah.
Bus stop in space.
And then there's even like that weird anomaly on the ship, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big piece of it, is like that anomaly that just exists in that weird room that Sam Neill's eventually interacting with. Oh, it's so fucking good. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Event Horizon. Once again, a movie that scared the piss out of me. Like, I remember being like, wow, this is actually, like, messing with me. Yeah, it's good.
Very good.
That's it, man.
That's it.
That's all I got. I did think of one more honorary mention for maybe both of us. I think you saw this movie, Barbarian.
Oh, yeah. Justin Long.
Like,
yeah.
That's a good horror film.
I didn't, honestly, I guess it just didn't stick out to me. I guess it wasn't really horror as much to me. It definitely is, but it didn't really stick out to me as...
It's more of a thriller, I guess, right? Than a horror.
It's kind of like Don't Breathe, where it's like,
but
it's in the horror.
Really good horror moments.
It does. I think another honorable mention, just because of the classicness of it, if you want to lump it in with horror, we got to give credit to the man, Kevin Bacon, with Tremors.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's an honorable mention.
Once again, horror / sci-fi.
Oh yeah,
right. Like
100%.
Very sci-fi.
So many movies.
I actually love the Tremors franchise.
Oh yeah,
like
the
talking about
one.
Movies that like don't know when to stop.
They
like
went to
remember,
ice.
Remember they got to like Tremors like 4, and they were like, the worms have evolved. They've turned into things that
Little
can walk
chickens.
on land now. Yeah, I was like, what? Like,
yeah,
this is where we're going?
I'll say this. For anybody that wants to experience the Tremors movies but not watch them all, go to the YouTube channel Dead Meat. They did a whole coverage of the kills, the making of, the plot on all the Tremors movies.
I love that.
It's a great watch.
Yeah.
Also,
the first
here's the spookiest thing.
Tremors, the floor is lava. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Here's the spookiest thing to talk about.
Yeah.
The fact that you replaced me in the cold open. I'm scared I'm losing my job.
You're not losing your job. It was a quality experience with some good chatting about horror related things, and I didn't want it to go to waste, man.
Well, I'm Spookified, so you're number 1 now. Goodbye, everybody.
Woo!